Well, congratulations on your new job.
Yeah, it's a different lane for sure. Taps, I've enjoyed working taps for 28 years.
But you have a new challenge.
I do.
To put 500,000 barrels of oil in taps.
Yeah, this is Donkel.
Yeah, I was talking to Ray Campbell, and he works for SRC. And we were talking about taps. I said, well, tell me, how much oil can we put in the line and not do anything but turn it back? He said 500,000.
Well, mechanical is
yeah, he said you could change up the DRA. Anyway, it was just kind of interesting. He says they're welcoming, like we always do. They need some very specific gravity to help the flow. That's what's going to come out of the west side over there.
good.
Well, we're trying to figure stuff out. We're promoting the state of Alaska.
Yep.
And that's what we do. What we do, and this Dan Donkel.
Yes.
Nope, haven't yet.
Well, it's a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you for the letter.
Yeah, you bet. You guys came by yesterday, and we were talking to Bill. I was just at that lunch on I met him. So, by the time I broke free, you guys had kind of moved on. So I tried to track down. Tried to catch up with you. So it's nice fun to catch up.
You have a minute to sit down and chat?
Sure.
Yeah, good. Let's sit down.
So I got to tell you, this what I talked about yesterday.
Yes. So I had
Your name keep up with Wagner, where it's all
we had a PSA and we were trying to get book me in line.
Oh, you bet. Hey, it's good to see you guys.
Yeah, it's a really good book. We try to get him to speak here.
Yeah.
Maybe you can get Dunleavy to have him come to Alaska.
Definitely read through it.
So what I wanted to tell Dan, which I think is positive, Armstrong County, he's going to keep working. Obviously, he's coming back up here after $1 billion. And Armstrong. And he tells me Armstrong had some good things to say about Armstrong.
Bill's, first, my geologist knew Bill, and my geophysicist, my first geophysicist passed away. I worked with his father, Bill Armstrong's father, and they were both from Denver.
Right.
And my daughter's still in Denver, my grandson. My grandson's 4.
Good area.
Yeah, and I lived on Sloan's Lake. I lived on Larimer Square. I had my offices. It's called DANCO. It's called Denver, Alaska, Nippon Company. Because our offices were in Denver. I worked with President Reagan to lift the exporting ban and cook inlet ship oil to Japan. And so Alaska was oil in Denver, and Nippon was the target. So I'd go to Japan, and that was in '89, and I went with, and I was going to ship Alaska coconut oil to Japan. That was the plan, supply like they do the gas. Right? So I get over there, and everybody's interested in me. And then the input dies. I'm paying outrageous amounts of money for consultants and things like, oh my God. But I ended up selling everything to Amoco, Arco, and Unical. But it's been an interesting play. A lot of things, it's just a long history, but it's like, there's never a chance to really talk to anybody in the DNR to ever say, hey, would you like to hear from different perspectives? Like to hear it from another person's perspective. And he was like, you're like one of them.
Do we have
my partner, Dr. Sam Case, says, what
well, it ends at 1. Everyone's going to be out of here.
He responded, he said,
Space
we've never even given.
Oh, yeah.
They just ignore us.
So it'll probably,
Long story short,
we should probably,
part of my job. I've always been hear people, even some old people return phone calls. So how do you return a phone call? That's just common courtesy.
We haven't had a gentleman like you in office in a long time, sir. I mean, I don't want to talk bad about your predecessor. Bill's a good guy. I'm talking. I don't want to name names from the past, but I've been around since K. Brown. So that was.
Stories back.
So, and I have. You probably got a file of me so thick it's not even funny. The thing is, all I said to people is like,
he's sensitive to the fact.
Why not? Why not let a guy like me do what I do? Why not? What's the, you know, but they've done everything in the world to just come up. And then Corey said something to me, probably in college, before she lost her director, before she became a commissioner. She said, Dan, there's people working in position that paid oil robbers.
He wanted me to stop
She said,
by.
I shouldn't be working. So then I got, I just settled my super. I wanted to settle my supermarket. I wanted to.
You know anything about it?
I didn't want you to know anything about it. But you know what I want to do is leave past the past, unless we can learn from it. If there's something we can learn that's positive for you and I, there's no need to even talk about it. What now is clear is that you're the leader. Thank God.
Thanks.
Well,
That's, I worked for TAPS for 20 years, definitely pro oil. You don't work for a company that long if you're not. The state of Alaska to be successful, we need companies to be successful. Generate the royalties for the state. Declining environment, it's even more important. Yeah, I know I have a different outlook, bring a different perspective. Good or bad, I don't know, but it's different.
it's American.
So you
Well, certain people in this board that I'm hiring, got a great deputy director, Justin Black, young man, he's 35, Chevron 15 years, great attitude, KG. We've got 2 unit positions open. One guy's applied actually from Houston, we met him yesterday, I met him yesterday, Justin the day before. So we've had a chance to meet several people, and we're looking for certain style, somebody that's
you gotta send it back. They was trying to get that. They want to send it all.
So,
So when you have it back, they put a stamp.
Can you send it on?
There's a thing in there to send it.
They might get it done as soon as they get back.
He's gonna do it. He'll get it done. He said,
good people, good communicators, good business people. That's
Very,
what
very good. Arco is excellent.
Get a direct client back.
Dan Sullivan, Dan
said I could get it back.
Gilson worked in Alaska for many years.
Yeah, I was talking to him a little bit. I talked to him a little bit.
And this is I want to get him. This is Mr. Davis, Gavin Davis. His son. This is his son.
Yeah, we heard about you last night.
Well, we got to take off pretty quick.
Okay, he's the new director of the Division of Gas and State of Alaska. He's bringing a whole new face to the agency.
Thank you. We need one.
And
I don't know if it's a good face, but it's the only one I have.
I gave one of your cards. Jim White wanted your card.
Yeah.
You haven't known?
Yeah, I do.
You know Jim, he's like 89.
He swung by yesterday and talked to him just briefly.
Yeah.
He's going to be me in that's me in 26 years.
well, he's been watching me and going to Alaska. We had a mentor. His name is Jerry Hodgson, God rest his soul. One of the greatest geologists you have ever wanted to know. Great oil man. Loving family. I mean, he just was everything. He was, before he died, the city of Golden made him Man of the Year. And he just had a great communicator. Was he a great communicator? One of the best communicators. He worked with Alaska for me he was my rock, is what he was. And so he took him when we were young. We were in our 20s, so late 20s, right? Yeah, and he took us under his wing. He was a great man. So he formed his company, and Davis. What is the name of your company?
Red Oak Energy out of Wichita.
In Wichita. I'm trying to get him to come to Alaska.
Works for me.
I love going up there in summer.
Yeah, I mean, the lease sales, there's nobody in the lease sales.
They've got a new number on the leases?
Yeah, the rental payments went to $10. It scares everybody away. They went to $250, and that was crazy.
Joe, that was he went 7 years into your lease, so it's a step increase. And we had the first ones come through this year, and we waived the fee. So,
did you?
Yeah, we
Good.
didn't go.
Oh, no.
That was good.
Okay,
I didn't get much.
So is there a minimum bid?
The minimum bid should should be $1, in my opinion. It should be $1 an acre.
Depends on what area it is, but anywhere from $10 to $25.
Then I can retire.
But
It takes so long to get anything done up there.
yeah, well,
Good luck to you. Yeah.
Well, hopefully not from our lane. Our permitting process, we went from 180 days down to 50 for approval, and we're going to continue to reduce that. We're getting the right kind of people in the roles. We got some experienced land people. So on the unit side, it's easiest for kind of work through that. And permitting, we've had some turnover, and we've got hired some, I think, good talent out of that. So I was telling Dan earlier, we're looking for people. I like industry experience. I wonder if we can get that. It's hard to compete salary-wise with that. But we're finding people that are either coming out of industry or had their fill working.
Just got laid off.
Yeah. Me with Alieska last year. And then people are good communicators and just conscientious about their work. And my deputy director's all of that, in my opinion. So that's what we're looking to hire.
Give me a resume.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it.
yeah, come to Alaska.
Anchorage.
It's a good place to work.
It's a great place for a kid. I tell you what, Anchorage, I wish any of my kids lived there.
If you have a young family, particularly, for a young guy, it's a great place.
But it's
Moved up at 35,
what tax bracket.
hunting, fishing, snow machining, anything outdoors is pretty fabulous. So.
My resume's in the fine print.
Yeah.
I'd rather.
Yeah, but if
Yeah,
he
exactly.
does all of our regulatory stuff, which he can.
Because they pay.
If I want to get an intent to drill Monday, I have to get it in today.
The drill on Monday, man, that's a long lead time.
On
What's your bonding on a well?
what's that?
What's your bonding on a well?
We don't bond. We out of state, out of state. Not in
So what about proof of financial responsibility? How much insurance do you have to have?
I don't know.
Who takes care of that? The state?
There's a joke. Dr. Paul Craig studied all the states and found
that's
that Alaska was the worst state in bonding and everything. And they asked the question, how much is your bonding? And we're comparing all the states and Kansas. And the guy said,
But then it is
well, we don't have bonding except we got to cement the well. We got to bond the well. Cement bond.
Bond it.
You make it blow it.
There,
A minute.
out of state's different than in state, and it may be the fact that we've been operating there for
My point is,
30 years.
how do
30
you raise
years.
the money to take care of that?
Yeah.
Who's putting that money out?
They did what's
Take
called
care of the ones that aren't.
You know what I'm leading to? Yeah.
Well, they have a fund. They have a fund, and I think
it's $100 per well that goes into it.
Well, and then I think there's a small tax on revenue. Very small penny type of thing.
Right.
To go into a fund.
Like our 470
How big is the
fund.
fund now?
I don't know.
We have one, he just alluded to, that's why I was talking like this, especially with the director.
Well, up there you're probably a little harder to plug one.
Oh, no, they don't have to worry about it. I wonder the last time the state ran into trouble. They had one guy that was dragging their feet a couple of years back, but that's
We drill it
out of 30 years. And then and they got $5 a barrel. What was it? Something a barrel for 30 years now.
Let's see, someone like him could come into Alaska.
The fund is huge.
5 cents.
He can bid on a lease. He can come to Alaska. He can take his experience. He does great. He's a great oil man. He knows how to operate. Bodera's another one over here. Bodera. He was in Alaska, but the system is so broken.
They sent him packing.
Maybe we should. I'll do that.
Came to Alaska.
You know Bodera, right?
Yeah.
See, they're all from Wichita, Kansas, and they're all taught.
And Bo is still interested in Alaska. He just needs to see some regulatory change.
Well,
Yeah, so that's one thing we were talking the other day with folks. They were concerned about the tax changes in Alaska. We can't afford that, but what can influence is the regulatory environment. Our biggest hurdle is DEC and DEC requires if you have a whole production, it doesn't matter the size of the pipe, or the diameter, or the length, you pay the same amount of bonding requirement, $95 million. Which range has $95 million in bond? I mean, there's no reason for
DEC
it.
is the EPA basically in Alaska.
Yeah, so
They've got kind of out of whack too.
So well, we floated up through the commissioner, and she's taking it to the governor and to her counterparts, the commissioner. So that's a legislative change that'll have to happen.
No, but here's the one that isn't legislative, and it'd be as sweeping as it ever has. We go back to the old leasing laws that we had for 40 years. And then you got guys like this guy. You got people that live in Alaska that are actually going to be buying the leases. The old leasing laws were 25. They made that change without legislature, with anything. The guy who made it was a guy just like you, Barton, and he made it with a guy just like Corey, Dan Sullivan, who was the head of natural resources. They made that change in their offices, and we got thrown at it, knocked people out of it.
Yeah.
Just knocked us out of
Tell them
it.
where we go, back to the old way.
Well, here's the thing. He's made it very clear that it's a legislative change. It is.
Not the royalties.
I mean, this is on
Not
the
the,
DUC bonding.
Yeah. Now listen. Here's the problem. Alaska, when in 1979 they separated the AOGCC from the DNR, and that created a huge problem because they were trying to alleviate the appearance of a conflict of interest, which it couldn't possibly do. You can't own the land and be the regulator of land, and then have an administrative appeal process where the agency has agency deference. You know what agency deference is? Commissioner deference. Deference means that in that hearing at the agency, you as a client, a customer, disagree with the agency on their ruling. They have deference to any fact that you say. They veto your fact. It's called agency deference. So there is absolutely no real due process. And so that's the number. And so when they tried to break the two apart, they forgot one thing. You can't have two separate agencies when you have the same law firm representing both. You have the Attorney General's office. So the only way to fix it was, my Supreme Court case was in 2005, which I lost, where the Supreme Court ruled that the right to trial de novo was repealed by implication to legislative intent, which basically the Supreme Court of Alaska claimed that they can read minds. So that was this read minds lawsuit, unanimous decision. Unanimous decision. Well, I mean, you know, so the whole thing is they wanted to fix this whole problem in Alaska is put all the agencies under one roof, okay, and allow people the right to trial de novo. Bring back 3105080B. Bring it back. It was brilliantly put there. It gives you right as a customer of the state that you disagree with the decision of the commissioner, that you can have an impartial hearing with real rules of court.
Things will never work right until the people own the resources, not the state.
No, we're not. That would be so far removed
No,
from.
but let me tell you the crux of it. He is a steward of the ownership of those stuff. Now, to watch over people that own their stuff to make sure they're doing it right is a whole other ballgame than watching over your own stuff. And that's what the problem, I think.
Yeah.
What I'm looking for is quick solutions that doesn't require anything other than something. I look for simple solutions. Like when Senate Bill 21 came up, I came up with the 777 plan. And Ken Alper, I don't know if you know him, he was the deputy commissioner of revenue. And what it was is he kept ACES the way it was. But anyways, what happened was, a whole Senate Bill 21, is that our tax credits that we had were relied upon the state saying the state had the power to decide whether to pay you the tax credit or not pay you, right? And that really hurt people. So what we have now,
a lot of small businesses, they didn't get paid.
Yeah, I'm hearing that.
No, it did. It hurt a lot of small businesses. Well,
so what we need to know is, then a couple of things we need to know, is back to the old days, unitization, the interpretation by the division they misunderstood what unitization is. Unitization is the protection of criminal rights, and the purpose is to prevent waste. Okay, but what the state has done is use unitization to green mill the contract that the state signed with the customer by forcing them to do things outside of the contract. So you shouldn't be doing that. Unitization should not be a tool to cause the customer to be under duress with like a gun to your head. Say, we'll give you a unit, but you got to do this and do that and do this. That's not what it's about. It never was. Well, in order to get a unit, okay, planned development, typically units and planned development run hand in hand, right? So my point is, you're trying to get leases to extend beyond the primary term, okay? And there's only 4 ways to do that. There are automatic extensions. One is if you're drilling the day the lease expires. The second is if it's committed to a unit, exploration unit, or production unit. Or if there's production on your lease, or if there's a well capable of producing and paying quantities, the state has to give you a notice to put a reasonable time to put it online. And those are the 4 automatic extensions. Okay, so you get companies like ConocoPhillips that's allowed to keep their lease for 53 years at Image Springs. Held by well. Me, I can't keep mine for a second because the unequal treatment on the law. So what we have to have is at least to have some type of due process where you can resolve it. But when you have a fair person like this gentleman here, you can circumvent all that stuff. We can get Alaska back on track right now because all we need is to know all those leases. You see all those leases, they all have different expiration dates. You see that lease in the middle? That was my lease. I sued the state. There's a well certified capable producer. The law says I was entitled to keep it. The lady that was the commissioner at the director at the time, her husband wrote a paper saying if there's a well capable producer, you must give them reasonable time to put it in production. And you must give them a notice period, 190 days or something. They ignored the law. So I said, okay, fine. I will go ahead, drop my lawsuit and bid on the next lease. Look at that lot lease. Now I've got one guy in the middle of it blocking my activity. What I needed to do is to be able to have a unit. So what units they allow you to do is you're allowed 5 years beyond the primary term. And it's got to be potential hydrocarbon accumulation. So we need to have units without all these force things on it. My other that's trapping. Because here's the thing, I want to get in production quicker than the state does. I'm the one out the money. I'm the one put all my money up there. And so like when you got to read my 2011 decision. Basically, Bill Barron came up and said, you don't need units at all. In fact, there's a unit with Kenai Loop. There's no units, violations. So the unitization is very key. Because right here, I've sold 200,000 acres of patch. They came in, they wanted to shoot 3D seismic.
Yeah, mine's in. I put it in this morning.
I gotta you get this thing figured out there and let us know.
I will. Well, he's going to do it.
Nice to meet you. I'm looking forward to getting you up there.
Yeah. Well, we've run out of things to do in Kansas.
Yeah.
I realize it's a whole
It's a challenge, yeah. The distance and the weather. Yeah.
Here's an interesting statistic. In 1970, in Fairbanks, Alaska, a town of about 30,000. $1 in $3 flowing through the Fairbanks economy was last month. And I'd like to see the same thing with us. The rates are real well. Now we've done a good job with the rates as well, but it's been for these corporations, Monaco and BP.
Every square's been over by Fairbanks. Is that crazy or what? Not one time, 30 years.
Hopefully we'll catch up with
You know, I asked her son a question.
Yeah.
Did you tell Brian?
Thank you so much.
Did you
I'm really happy to hear all the things you said. They sound like you got the right idea. And I'm glad you have background administration and permitting.
Yeah, it's enjoying my job and seeing what we can do to get more oil in the pipe. So we can
You are going to save the state.
Well, I hope.
Do you realize how much power you got?
Yeah.
Well, not yet.
So you got to
You
talk.
can make a lot productive. You can fill that
What it
bill.
even costs
You
to
can.
run the.
I hope that we can. I mean, we definitely need the states.
Curious, there's a number.
Obviously, we're in a budget crunch.
Well, I want to help. If there's anything I'm doing, you want me to stop doing it, I'll stop. I want to cooperate with you in every way.
Yeah,
Okay?
well, we will.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Everything.